Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of the Arkham Avengers Fantasy Football Premier League podcast. You join me, the host, along with Eamon and Hector, and we're going to take a look and see how our managers are going to be putting a team together for this year's Fantasy Football 2021-2022. Gentlemen, welcome back. We're here a little bit earlier this week, but we thought we would just have a bonus episode before we get down to our next podcast show. Eamon, you were watching the Euros. What did you think?
Well, look, I think the best team won. It's not very easy when you go to penalties and you have to go out, but, I thought perhaps maybe when England scored the first goal, they might have pushed on to get a second one, but that wasn't to be. And, in fairness, Italy didn't give up, and you have to admire that. I do think that England done really well, and it's a credit to the players and to Gareth Southgate to have got to the finals. He seems to be building tournament there, and he has a good setup, and the future could be quite hopeful for them there and bright.
Hector?
Well, I think, I watch the football. I think, Eamon, right, I thought England might push on a bit. When you go that far, you think, is this going to go to penalties? I prefer to see teams going for it to attack. Don't be bold and, go for it as such. But, Italy win. Hard luck to England. They done well. They got there in the finals. That is an achievement, and I think they should take, the positives from that.
Yeah, indeed. Very good. Now, listeners, we have some news for you. The Arkham Avengers League is up and running at the moment. Now, if you would like to put a team together for this season, that's perfectly fine with us. We have a code that will allow you to join the league. All you need to do, if you send an email to arkamavengersffpl@gmail.com, once we get your email, we'll send you the code and you can join. There's also the Arkham Avengers Fantasy Football page. It's active now on Facebook, and there's an email link on there also. And you can also pick us up on the podcasts. We're on a number of platforms at the moment. So whatever, just like to subscribe and listen to us. Tell your friends as well. So that's a bit of news there as such. And we'll be putting up a photograph of this year's prizes as well. There's the trophy, and there's a medal for second place and a medal for third place. Now, lads, can we just recap? We have over the last number of shows discussed what a manager needs to do. A listener who's maybe going to become a manager, what they need to do. Getting your goalkeeper and having your money and registering and looking at the dashboard and stuff. Now, let's recap. Eamon, I'm going to start with you first. I'm giving you 100 million to get your team together. What are you going to do with the 100 million? Now, just say you're a manager. I know you can't join because the panel are exempt from joining it here as such. We have to be impartial.
It'd be lovely to set a team together. I'd like to get a team.
Well, Eamon, I like you on the panel. So we'll make it up that I'm giving you 100 million here. Who would you be selecting now? Who are you looking at?
Okay, all right. I wasn't really expecting this on the show. Okay. So I have 100 million. Well, my goalkeeper for a start would be Martinez from Aston Villa. He played brilliantly in the Copa America, the final. Argentina won. Brilliant player. And I think that his star is descending here. He's looking so good. I don't think I could bypass him.
Okay. And how much is he?
He's 5.5 million.
Okay. Move on.
I'd be looking at Ruben Diaz from Man City. He's 6 million. And probably then Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool, and he's going to cost 7.5. I'd probably look at from Everton. Rafa Benitez is there, and I expect good things from Everton, and he'd cost 5.5 million. Then moving on to my midfield, I'd have Rafinha from Leeds, and he's 6.5 million. I'd go with Saka from Arsenal. He's also 6.5 million. And I'd go for Emiliano Buendia, and he's a new signing for Aston Villa. And he's 6.5 million. I'd have him in my Arsenal as such as my midfield, and I'd then go for Mo Salah from Liverpool, and he's 12.5 million in my midfield. And then I'd have 3 forwards up front. I'd have Danny Welbeck from Brighton and Hove Albion. And he's costing 6 million. And then I'd also have Dominic Calvert-Lewin from Everton for 8 million. Ollie Watkins would finish off my forwards from Aston Villa, and he's 7.5 million.
Okay, so that's your starting 11.
Yes, that's the starting 11. If I were to pick a team, that's who I'd go for.
And who would you have in your bench then, your subs?
My goalkeeper would be Robert Sanchez from Brighton. He's 4.5 million. I'd have Ben Chilwell for Chelsea, because I think you need to have a Chelsea player on your team. He's 6 million. I'd have Connor Cody then from Wolves for 4.5 million. And I'd have Sarr from Watford. He worked really well getting for this team, getting them moving. He's 6 million. That would be it. And that would probably leave me, if my maths are right, I think of about 1 million left.
All right, okay.
So you'd have 2 guys there, 6 million on the bench. Would that be normal? Well, look, yeah, it probably would be, because, I mean, I have Diaz, I suppose the guy from Everton, but I think Everton are going to do really well here. It's going to mix and match. I mean, sometimes maybe, I might drop Danny Welbeck and bring in a defender or a midfielder, and that's what you do in that there.
Okay, interesting. And I mean, Salah's your biggest hitter there. See?
That's it. You can't really afford to bring in too many big hitters, because if you do that, it's going to leave you short trying to fill some of the other positions.
All right, interesting. Now, Hector, over to yourself. I give you 100 million. Who are you going to bring in?
Oh, all right. Like Eamon, I did not expect this.
You see, we like to keep you guys on your toes, and our listeners are probably going to enjoy you being left on your toes here. Now, move on. Let's have this team.
Right. Okay. Well, okay. Goalkeeper, I go for Dean Henderson from Man United. And if I'm right, he costs 5 million. Mm-hmm. My defender, then, I would have Vladimir Kufel from West Ham. I'm not sure how much he costs.
He's priced at 5 million at the moment.
Okay. I then go for Kieran Tierney from Arsenal. I know he's a good player. He's about 5 million as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I have Wan-Bissaka from Manchester United. And I think last time I looked at the table, he was worth 5.5 million.
Yeah, okay. Now, so that's the goalkeeper and your midfields. Who are your defenders? Who's in midfield then?
Like Eamon, I go for Emiliano Buonera from Aston Villa for 6.5 million. He looks like an exciting player, and he will be a good guy to have in midfield. I will have Mason Mount from Chelsea. Again, I'm not sure how much. He's 7.5 million. I have the prices on the screen here. 7.5 million for him. Okay. Ben Foden from Man City. And he is, I think, 8 million. I go for Bruno Fernandes from Man United. I know he's 12 million, but he's good. I would go with him. And then I would have Kay Havertz from Chelsea for 8.5 million.
Okay. You have 2 Chelseas in midfield.
Yeah.
And who's up forward then for you?
Kelechi Iheanacho from Leicester. I think he's 7 million. He's 7.5 million at the moment. Okay. And then I go for Bamford from Leeds for 8 million.
All right, okay. And who's on your subs bench then?
Okay. I think I'd have Daniel Bachmann from Watford. I know how much he is, though. I think he's 4.5 million. Okay. Wesley Fofana from Leicester, then I would have him as one of my defenders. I think he's reasonable. He's around 4.5 million.
Yeah, that's right.
Kyle Walker from Man City, then I will have him. He's a good reason. He's 6 million.
He's 5.5 million at the moment.
Okay. And I would have Evan Tony from Brentford then. I think he has around 6.5 million.
That's right there. Okay. Okay, so you have an interesting bit of a mixture there. Your defenders seem to be a little bit light. They're all around the 5 million mark. You wouldn't go for anybody tougher, more money.
No, I don't. I put it into the midfield. I work with the midfield, and that's how I do that there.
Okay. And look, I'm doing this just off the top of my head here. This is probably going to leave you about 500,000 at the bank then.
Yeah, okay. Well, you put me on the spot, but these are the guys I would go. This would be the team I would be putting together.
All right, okay. So Eamon, you have 1 million, and Hector, you've 500,000.
Look, I was good with money, so I would. Unfortunately, sometimes the dogs might clean me out sometimes, but I always come up smelling of roses. I do.
Ew. Oh, you're gardening, are you, Eamon?
No, it's a saying. You come up smelling of roses.
He no loss. He is smelling the road. Yeah, Hector, it's a saying that they have over here. Sometimes, things might not go well for you, and then you get a turn up for the bucks then, and you're grand. You get the turn, he and the roses, and he and the turnips. You're getting it. Now, listen, I think we might move on here from that there, and Hector will come back to that there. Now, before we go, listeners, we have an email in. Ah, great. Who's this from? This is from Bobby. Bobby has emailed us. All right, okay, hello, Bobby. Do we know where Bobby's from? No, Bobby didn't say where they're from. Anyway, Bobby puts this question here. Bobby said that they're going to put their team together. And Bobby's wondering, forgive me, I don't know whether Bobby's a male or female, but Bobby was wondering about their forwards. And they posed a question here, but Kane had played so much last season and then playing in the Euro 2020. Bobby's wondering, would you go with Kane or would you opt for Bamford? Considering that Bamford finished in second place in the 2020-21 season. And also, they seem to be saying that there's a possibility that Kane could be tired. And also, if there's a question mark of a possible transfer hanging over him, that this could be a distraction. So I think the question here really is, Kane or Bamford? Eamon, what do you say?
Okay, look, there is merit to the question, so there is. I think because, I looked at the match on Sunday, and Kane did looked, he wasn't buzzing around the place. He probably is tired, and I think they're getting the first week off. They're getting some extra time off for a little rest before they start back on the training there. So his chances are he might not be even playing come the first week. I've said before, I'm not a big fan of Bamford, but he hasn't had to play in the Euros. He's rested. He should be more fresher. I probably would go with Bamford.
And Hector, who would you go for? I think I agree with him, and I think I will go with Bamford. Whether Bamford would be on my team for a start.
I was just going to say that. I was thinking if you went for Kane and you were after just saying that you were having Bamford in your team,
I'd be questioning your team structure. Look, but I think you're right. I think I will go for Bamford. I think that Kane maybe leaves a little bit of rest, and it depends as well on what the Spurs bring in any teams. Need to feed it. Is the Sonny Son going to be playing good? So I will go with Bamford.
All right, okay. Well, listen, Bobby, we hope that helps you when you're putting your team together, and thanks for the email. And as I said before, listeners, anybody wants to drop us an email, it's Arkham Avengers at ffpl@gmail.com. Right, lads. Okay, look, this is kind of like a bonus show tonight. Thanks for coming in. It's no problem. Didn't expect to be in. I certainly didn't expect to be putting a team together. And Hector, thank you for joining us. I know you're away for a couple of days, but you are coming back now, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I go in morning. I go west of Ireland. I hope weather will be good.
I think it's supposed to be good anyway. All right, lads, as always, thank you for joining us. And listeners, thank you also for joining us on the show today. I hope that this has been informative and is helping you if you're putting a team together. Remember, we'll be back later in the week with another show, and we'll be having a talk about how some of the teams had played last year and what the managers had done. Remember to subscribe, tell your friends, listen to us anytime, any place. Hope you have a good day, a good night. Take care. Stay well. We'll be back soon.